Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to our webinar, More Time for Customer Service and Care. Thank you very much for attending. I know there are a lot of people out there. And also thank you very much to Torsten, Matthias, and Thomas for taking the time to present at this event. We have some practical notes at first that I would like to pay attention to. First of all, we are recording this event and we will make it available afterwards. Also made it for you in order to get some of the main points afterwards. Secondly, we would like you to send the question or the questions that you might have. Use the chat function in Zoom. And then at the end of the 4 presentations, we will get back to your questions and make the relevant answers in order to cover your curiosity with regard to the different presentations. And then thirdly, we will send out a survey. We would love to have get your feedback on this event. So we will send that targeted to you after the event in order to get some feedback around this tech update. Before jumping into the presentation, today's event is focusing on companies who rely on experts and advisors. Companies who have advisory services and who need to give an easy access to their experts in order also to book meetings with an expert, either it being self-serviced or through a customer service department. And the first presentation will be myself. I will present about the Sonys Partner. And what is Sonys Partner? It's a company that aims to become the preferred self-service platform for easy and secure and efficient communication and booking of private and also public healthcare services. In Denmark, we have around more than 2 million insurance or health insurance clients. So it's a pretty large target group that are being handled by various insurance companies in Denmark. There are a lot of claims during a year. It's around 100,000 claims regarding larger injuries, and more than 1 million minor injuries, which would be in the chiropractor, in the physiologists and physiotherapists, and also psychologists. So it's a pretty large volume of interactions between insurance companies and their customers. And that's what this company is actually focusing on. That is to help easing the interactions between the patients, between the insurance companies, and the treatment that they need to get in order to treat their injuries. The company Sonys Partner is partly owned by Sundhed Danmark, which is an association of private hospitals in Denmark, and Trifork. So why is Sonys Partner focusing on this area? If we look at the landscape, when we started almost 3 years ago, it's very clear that some of the companies are experiencing insecure communication, and especially in this GDPR period, we have to focus much more on a secure marketplace. If you look at the various solutions that insurance companies and the private hospitals and clinics are working with, it's a very fragmented IT landscape. It was also very clear to us that a lot of companies were spending quite a lot of time on manual processes. It was pretty time consuming, and there was a risk of errors because it's been handled by manually. Fourthly, it's also clear that we needed to pay attention to the integrations because looking at the market today, it's pretty time consuming to get the integration with various platforms into place. Then more and more, both insurance companies, but also clinics and hospitals are looking into offering different user journeys, which very often gives the user, the patient, a kind of a black box, and makes it very difficult to understand where the customer is in a particular phase of a treatment and of a claim. And then lastly, you could say that the patients and the trend is that the patient or the users are being empowered more and more. So I, as a customer, I expect that I can do much more myself, that I can self-service myself much more. So that was where we came from. Then looking at what is it that we are offering, we are offering a secure marketplace, a platform where you can, as a insurance company, you can easily get access to the various clinics and private hospitals. And as a patient, you can also easily get access to the right treatment, and also in order to book the relevant time slot and the relevant person who can treat your injury. Secondly, it's the solution that is very much focusing on self-service, so the patient will be empowered through the platform. We have spent quite a lot of time on standardizing the processes and communication between the insurance companies and the private hospitals and clinics. The whole aim is actually that both the insurance company, but also the private hospital, can make sure that the patient is taken much faster into treatment and spending less time on administrative tasks and finding out whether a particular hospital or whether a particular doctor will be available at a time that suits the patient. A lot of focusing on the easy communication between the insurance company and the clinics, and also the ability to exchange data much faster and in a standardized way between the insurance company and the clinics. And then we're offering 3 different ways of integrating, or you could say working with Sonys Partner. On one hand side, we can offer a standalone solution, both for the insurance company, but also for the clinic. But we can also offer a light integration that makes it easy to get, you could say, the data of a client fast into Sonys Partner, or we can offer a full integration, both if it's a claim solution from the insurance point of view, or if it's the EPJ solution or system that you need to be integrated directly with. This is how the 3 parties, you could say, how they can work with one another. So you have the patient on the top. You have the insurance company to the right, and you have the private hospitals. And you could say the platform Sonys Partner is actually handling a lot of the consents that need to be in place in order to make sure that you have the permission to share data, personal data, the real-time calendar that you are able to do the booking, either in customer service at the insurance company, at the private hospital, or that the patient can do it himself, and all the documentation and all the payment claims and the guarantees are all handled securely in the platform Sonys Partner. So who are already customers of Sonys Partner? We've given here an overview. So we have a couple of insurance companies, Danica with Thomas represented today, and PFA, and then we have a variety of private clinics and hospitals like Aleris, like Capio, but also Cologne and Gilhøj that have been part of the solution for the last year and been working together with especially Danica on the solution for the last year. So what is it actually that the solution is all about? You could say we've tried here to describe and I will go through it very fast, a user journey with 3 different parties. You have the patients reporting an injury to an insurance company like Danica. Danica will create or approve a claim, and also the scope of the claim. And if it's approved, then the patient will get access to booking a consultation. When that consultation has been booked in the calendar of a private hospital, the private hospital automatically receives the booking and also automatically a payment guarantee that Danica has put in place. The patient will receive the consultation, the first consultation, and also additional consultations if that is needed. If the private hospital requires additional treatment and consultation for the patient, the private hospital will be able to send a payment request to, for instance, Danica. They can either approve it or reject it. If they approve it, of course, the patient will receive additional consultations. And then at the end of the day, hopefully the private hospital will be able to finalize the treatment and the patient will be happy and can move on with his life. And the insurance company will then close the claim. So all these aspects of a customer journey, the Sonys Partner is handling and taking care of together with the insurance company, the private hospital, and the end of the day for the patient. And these are you could say, the main features, you could say, of the solution. Claims can be stored once. You have real-time scheduling that you can either offer to the patient or to the customer service at the insurance company. You can book the time slots directly. We've standardized the payment requests. We have also a framework for consent agreements. The insurance company is able to customize the payment guarantees, which can be individual from customer to customer. There is a simple task overview. We have also supporting chat and notifications, the chat so that you can actually work in a secure environment. And then last but not least, we are offering a self-service for the patients. That was what I was intending to present to you as fast as possible. I will now give the word to Thomas from Danica. Just a minute.
Thank you, Peter. So let me just start with introducing myself. My name is Thomas Skrostrup. I'm responsible for the operation of claims in Danica. We have around 250,000 people insured in Danica, both regarding the healthcare insurance, the loss of ability to work insurance, and the critical disease insurance. So I will just start here by presenting my presentation. Let me see. Hopefully you can see it now. Is that a thumb up, Peter? Can you just, yes, excellent. So what I want to show you, just a brief highlights on what the system Sonys Partner actually gives an insurance company, but also take you through our journey in choosing the Sonys Partner as a platform. It all started with legislations, law, GDPR. We got like I guess everybody in the world, or at least in Denmark, we looked at our processes, looked at our data in 2019, and what I saw and what we saw was that especially emailing was a big part of our processes, and emailing about data. A lot of sensitive data was a part of our processes. We actually had around 50,000 emails a year with sensitive customer data, which were transferred between the insurance company, Danica Pension, and also our providers. And that was actually what started the whole thing, because then we needed to look for a system that could take the sensitive data in a secure way and process it between us and the healthcare provider. So it started with GDPR. We also saw what Peter said, a really fragmented system landscape. When we talked to our partners, we started with the private hospitals, and when they are communicating with insurance companies, they are communicating by email, by all sorts of systems, and it was really becoming a pain because it didn't provide the best customer experience, and it certainly didn't provide any easy and quick process between us and the healthcare provider. So we actually looked into the market, and we actually also asked the private hospitals, well, do you have a solution for this? And I think that's when they actually took up with Sonys Denmark the system and selected Trifork to becoming the provider for this system. And they told us this in 2019 actually, and I've been also involved in developing systems, integration, all that, and I said, yeah, well, that sounds good. Could you please come back when you have a system in place, and then we can talk. And then they speeded up and actually showed us some demos on the system. And when we saw the system, what we then decided to do is we made a benchmark, watched the whole system landscape, not the whole, but at least some systems in Denmark who could actually provide this service. And we looked a lot, of course, on customer experience. We wanted one system for all our employees to communicate with all healthcare providers. That's actually our strategy and ambition on this. So we didn't want 1, 2, 3 systems towards this. No, we wanted one system that could actually incorporate all the things we wanted to get to our customers and also our employees. We also wanted a system who can, of course, be good for the insurance company, who can also provide something that's good for the healthcare provider and of course the customer in the center of it all. That also meant that when you're a big healthcare provider with 20,000 people that you need to help, well, then you might be needing the full integration. But we also have partners who actually only, and I say only, take 100, 200, 300 clients, customers a year. They also needed to join this system. So that meant that we were looking into a system who could actually take the full integration and also could be a system for the smaller healthcare clinics, healthcare providers. That was quite important to us. So we took the pros and cons, and then we went with Sonys Partner. And the reason for that is they actually, we can actually set an okay on all these points. We then made a speedboat on the system integration parts, and a year and a half later, we were actually provided with a system that worked. In my mind, we want to differentiate ourselves as an insurance company on our services, on our products. That's also why I'm glad to see that a lot of my competitors or our competitors actually joined this meeting, because I think that this could be the future platform for the insurance companies going forward. And I don't think that our customer experience or our competitive advantage comes through a system. This system helps the customers, and the more insurance companies actually goes on the platform, the more development, the more customer experience we can gain from the system. So that's kind of my hope in this. I'll just make a few brief highlights on what you actually get as an insurance company with this system. One thing that's really important for us is that we can actually choose which healthcare provider we want the customer to access. So from a management point of view, we actually have a list of our providers. And of course, price is important, quality is important, and there's a lot of other things that's important to us. And then we rank our providers, which makes us able to get this view through the system out to our employees, so that when they are talking to the customer, they can actually see the management's or the insurance company's prioritization of the healthcare providers. And they can also see from a customer perspective how long, how is the distance to the healthcare provider, where is it located, and then choose the right provider for both the customers and also the insurance company. We got, as I said, a standard system, but what we actually did after seeing a demo of the standard system from Sonys Partner, we made a lot of requirements. Peter can definitely say yes to that. We have made a lot of requirements, and also they are now in place in the system. One of the requirements we had was the tailored payment guarantee possibility. We want the customers to be able to get a fast end-to-end journey, which actually means that we can predefine packages to our healthcare providers, which makes them able to get a faster end-to-end journey from our customers. Normally, we would have a lot of communication back and forth between the insurance and the healthcare provider. They asking us, can we do this? And then we accept or we deny. This actually makes us able to create packages that we can send on so the customer can get a fast journey. This, of course, improves both customer satisfaction, but also our time in this regard. This is something that also is really, really important for, especially in the day-to-day operation. So we, as an insurance company, actually has an overview of the tasks that gets to us every day, and we can prioritize those tasks both from a how old are they perspective, but also if we have what do you call the case emergency, we can really fast locate the task. So our day-to-day operations has actually an operation dashboard where we can pick and choose. So we have a leader who can take the task and divide it out to the caseworker. Peter also talked about self-service. Actually, I think we have around 70,000 claims a year, and roughly half of those are actually digitalized on Danica behalf. So a lot of our customers actually used to making self-service, making online claims, and they are actually expecting some sort of self-service when they book or through end-to-end customer journey. And of course, the Sonys Partner also can help with that. The customer can book and change time slot for the appointment, which of course helps us with lesser calls, because the customers can go in and change the appointment time without contacting us. And then it's the last part, and then I think my time is up. what I really like, and that's from my perspective, is the monthly reporting that we actually get. So Sonys Partner has a monthly report for the insurance company Danica, where I can see the number of claims, the number of payment guarantees issued, how we distribute our claims towards the healthcare providers. So if I know I want to or my ranking is this private hospital, so this healthcare provider is 1 and this healthcare provider is 2, then I can actually track that as a management and see if my employees is aligned with the ranking. And of course, on lower management, you can get a detailed caseworker report, so you can see where and how the caseworkers are sending our customers towards. I think that was it for my, at least for the first time. I will
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Thomas. So this was around Sonys Partner and you could say the booking and communication platform that has been developed for the healthcare insurance and healthcare industry. So now I'll give the word to Torsten to talk more into the financial institutions aspects.
Okay, so thank you. So my name is Torsten. I'm the CEO of &Money, a fintech company with strong roots in both technology and financial services domains. And currently we offer these products. We have the Young Money product as a B2B product for banks that want to grow their relation to the digital natives. We have Economy, a tool for small and medium enterprises that offer them less administration, more insight into the business, and bringing them in control of the business. And then last but not least, we have the &BookMe product, which is an enterprise-grade meeting handling system for larger companies that has customer-facing units taking care of meetings. And I'll just head right into that one. So what's this about? So what we started out with was sort of the notion of being in financial services. It's often the case that getting a meeting with the company is actually not that easy. And when the customer goes around saying, I mean, what is going on? It appears that my hairdresser is more technically advanced than this, and that is actually the sort of the perception out there. But at the same time, I mean, the reality inside the company is often, there's complex IT that's not necessarily particularly well integrated. Perhaps the companies have a history of existence that sort of still makes them work on changing the perspective from inside out to outside in, and that can also be stored in culture and operating model. So to sum it up, it's not an easy task, and perhaps not quite fair to compare it to the hairdresser situation. And if you sort of dive into what the problems are, and perhaps starting out by saying when you have problems or you have pains in both in the customer perspective or in the processes, that also equals a potential for doing better. So that's sort of the positive side. And if you look into it, you have a situation where if you're in the business of providing financial security to customers, then you often tend to focus a lot on the relation. And I'm not saying that's a bad idea, quite the opposite. But the thing is that if you do this really hard, then there is a problem in that relations, one-to-one relations at least, that doesn't scale very well. So you need to address that issue and perhaps lighten it up in certain situations. Then we see in financial services typically, the company optimizes these problems by establishing central units or call centers to lower the cost. And that does indeed help, but it's important to say that this lowers the cost of executing the process. It doesn't lower the cost of the process itself, so there's still a potential to gain. And like I said, with complex IT, you're sitting with the processes that ends up being manual. You have a CRM, you work with your events, you work with your leads, your accounts, you work with perhaps matching skills, you need calendar availability to match also. And these are cumbersome manual processes. And on top of that, it's not quite fair to compare it to the hairdresser meeting. I mean, there's meetings, of course, that are that simple, but there's also lots of meetings that are very more complex in their structure. You have perhaps the need to match a number of customers with a number of experts inside the company, perhaps giving a certain skill set, and also you need to add available meeting rooms. So to sum that up, if you factor those things in and then have a lot of meetings like you typically see in these companies, then there's actually a huge potential for both creating cost reduction inside the company, but also both increasing the customer and the employee satisfaction. So huge potential. And exactly what we aim for with the Book.me solution. We sort of tie up all these elements in a perfectly neat, quick process that lets you sort of find create the events on the proper accounts in your CRM, with returns and CRMs on the way. The lead management inside the CRM. With the proper skill match, and also sort of matching up against the advisors or the customer facing employees in the company's Active Directory, combined with the calendar availability, etc., to create a great customer service and happy customers. And on top of that, it's a system that is highly configurable. So everything from employee availability to meeting taxonomy, etc., can be configured in the system. Sort of the effects of using Book.me is both in improved availability, because you actually sort of get the customer gets more opportunities to meet with the company and sort of gets to choose whether you want to have the dialogue with your preferred or normal advisor, or you're fine to talk to other people on some smaller issues. You get increased employee effectiveness and satisfaction, and all in all, it just makes it easier to become a customer. Or sorry, to be a customer in the company. Currently, these companies are using Book.me, going live almost as we speak. So that was sort of my take on introducing Book.me, and then I'll give the word to Matthias from Nykredit, who will talk about how they use it and what they gain from that.
Thank you, Thorsten. And I'll try to share the screen here. Give me 1 second. I need to go to the top of the presentation and then start it. So good. I'm really happy to speak to all of you today. And as Thorsten said, we are currently actually moving the whole meeting system to production, and we expect to go live early next week. So this is really exciting times for us right now, but we have already tested the system with a lot of internal advisors, and also tested actually the customer facing part of the meeting booking system with our customers. So we actually already have some feedback to share. So my name is Matthias. I am a business specialist at Nykredit, and I'm responsible for kind of the integration of this new meeting booking process, and also the whole business side of it. So this new tool enables us also to shake up the culture at Nykredit. But actually, quickly to sum up what it is that we want to do with this system, is that we want to shorten the way to the next customer meeting. So that's our primary goal, and actually supporting the whole idea. We have the notion in Nykredit saying we want to be best at customers. And right now, we can see that the customers, they truly value their own advisor, but we can also see that it can be really hard for one advisor and one customer to find the right time to set up a meeting. So sometimes if the advisor is quite busy, it can be quite hard for the customer to actually get an appointment in the advisor's calendar at the point where the customers wants to. So that's the whole goal of this. And another goal that we have is actually to build it into our whole CRM system. So we have been out and using Salesforce, which is kind of the state-of-the-art CRM system. And for us, when we looked at kind of our new booking system, it truly needed to be integrated. as Thomas also told a little bit about, the reporting side is super important, and thus that is why we want to also have it inside our systems. If we just look at where we are right now, Nykredit as we speak right now, then we are actually not where we want to be. And our clients have moved a long way, especially during the whole Corona, where they have been used to book everything from test to their hairdressers to insurance meeting, and then also treatments when they get an injury, I can hear. So that's really good. So they and then they come to their bank and want to purchase a new house or refinance their house, and they have to call in that advisor. So the process that we actually have right now is that the customer can try to get a hold of their own advisor. And if they miss, kind of if the advisor is in another meeting, they can call our customer service. And what the only thing and the only tool they have available right now is actually leave a notification to the advisor and set a time where the advisor will call the customer back. So this creates a lot of frustration for customers that actually just want a meeting to be booked. And when we look into the whole kind of availability, that is, we are measuring a lot of our customer satisfaction, and generally Nykredit Bank is performing quite well in the market, but we actually looked into the clients that tell something about our availability, and clients that kind of say they are dissatisfied with our availability, they just slam their customer satisfaction in Nykredit. They are amongst the lowest ranking in customer satisfaction. And so there's like it's huge potential here to improve the area. And we know that availability is a number of factors. It's also that the advisor pick up the phone and all that. So it's a lot about kind of giving the customers a perceived view of availability as well. So the customer feels that Nykredit is available. So that is kind of the primary pain point that we're trying to solve. Then looking into this new system, we also have our own system. You can see the guy in the background. So advisors, they have like tons of systems they're working in, and they have to shift between systems. So right now, when they book a meeting, they have to manually go in Outlook, get the Teams link, put it, copy paste it, put it into the CRM system, and then copy paste it into there and send it to the customers. Then they actually have to wait a couple of minutes after they book the meeting with the customers for it to sync from our Salesforce platform to Outlook, and then in Outlook going and book the room for the meeting. So that is also cumbersome. And then this whole notion about kind of sending confirmation mails to the customers. So they will first, after they book the meeting, go in and kind of write the mail to the customers. With the new system, we will send it automatically. And also the part about sending out the Teams link will be really important. Because right now, the advisor sends out the Teams link kind of the day the meeting is booked. But then the customer can end up having to look through the inbox and search for kind of where was this link for this online meeting. So this is just some of the features that is also kind of going into to making the daily lives easier. So what we actually want to do with and BookMe is to actually create a truly omnichannel experience for both customers, advisors, and partners. So this system will be everybody using the same system. So right now, so the customers will use this new booking system. They will use it on the mobile bank and the net bank. They will get access on Nykredit.dk, and we're also building up a whole kind of new CRM universe where they will actually also be able to use this platform. And omnichannel about giving people choice. So they are, of course, also they will be able for them to call our customer service, which we call Nykredit Direct, and they can also call the advisors. And along the way, we also want to open this up for third parties. We have a huge partner network in Nykredit, and we really want the customers to have as much ease as possible, so they get like a seamless experience when kind of having to talk to our partners. And we're also going to integrate it directly into our marketing. So actually, this whole call to action just needs to be as short as possible. And the basis of all of this is our CRM system, Salesforce, which will kind of is the key driver around the meeting booking system. So so we can integrate it into that system and really be closely linking and seeing what is the customer saying. So we're talking about the availability and looking into kind of our service model. We want to give the customers more choice, and this was kind of a key requirement for this system. So if we look at it right now, our current setup, as you see with the red box, is that the customer can only talk to their own personal advisors. And this kind of limits their availability for the customers, especially if they're kind of in a need or in a rush, or if they want a late meeting or a morning meeting. Of course, we can see that certain times in the day are always more popular than others. And what we're actually using this system to, and which is been a key driver of it, is actually to move to a new setup where the client or the customer will get a lot of new options, so they'll be able to book their own personal advisors. And to begin with, we opened up to that they can book all the other advisors in the local branch that they have. And then we also have like kind of a central advisor team, which will also be available for them. So they get actually a lot of new options, and we're able to get more available time slots for their meetings. So to actually sum it up, then I would like to talk a lot about it. So to sum it up here, so the primary kind of 3 areas why we are using this new system is really that we want to increase the customer's feeling of NuCredit being available. So when they log into the new system, they will see all available advisors at online meetings. So they will get like thrown a lot of available times and see that NuCredit is here for them. And it's easy for them. If they call the customer service, they can now actually say, okay, you want a meeting? I can forward you to your own personal advisor. Your advisor first have time next week, but you can also talk to another super competent advisor, and that's a free spot tomorrow. So this whole experience is the primary driver. Secondly, we want to make the daily life of our advisors more efficient. So all this copy pasting around different systems, looking at different systems to find the right time for the customers, we really want to make that more kind of go away and really make it easy. And lastly, we want to make it easier for the customers to be a customer NuCredit. And we're actually rolling out this system to all our customer segments. So this will be both personal customers, business customers, private bankers, and everywhere. We will, in the beginning, only open up the kind of the customer end of it, so the for certain selected customer groups. But we have a goal that everybody should, of course, be able to book a meeting digitally. So that was actually my 5 cents here from NuCredit around this system.
Thank you, Matthias, and thank you, Torsten, for your presentation around the Book Me solution for the financial sector.